Hello.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Don't worry.
Okay, alright, cool.
Yes, guys. I hope you guys can hear me now. Um, hope you guys can hear me. So, Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, who is, of course, we all know Baby Miller. You know, I've gone in hard on him. We know he does not like Joshua. But, you know, like, I mean, in this interview, he talked about a lot of things. His comeback, you know, how he's planning to come back for sure, who is going to be fighting next. And there's a possibility he might fight Carlos Takam, you know what I mean? So, by the way, if you guys are watching live, make sure you like the video, share it, and let people come in and give their take on it, because it is important to give your take. But before we proceed, let's, of course, hear what Jarrell Miller had to say, because it's very important about Joshua's speech, Black Lives Matter speech. So let's go, guys. Well,
Crow people that still have that kind of mentality, and the new generation that doesn't really think like that, and we want to see everybody live together and get along, you know.
And Joshua did a speech at a protest this weekend in the UK, which has gathered a lot of media attention. Have you seen his speech firstly, Jarrell?
No, I have not.
Okay, just to summarise the heat he's getting, he essentially said that black people need to support black businesses more. Some people interpret it that what should you not buy from white and brown businesses. He never explicitly said that, but he said that we should support black community, black economics, black growth. What are your thoughts on this, Jarrell?
I think, you know, I have to agree to him on that, because if you go to any other neighborhood, especially in Brooklyn, the Russians support the Russians, the Hispanics will support the Hispanics, you have the Jews support the Jews. But if you go to the blacks, a lot of blacks don't support their local blacks. They go to the Jews, they go to the Europeans or the white establishments, and they can find a lot of things in the black community. So I'm trying to say we don't support one another unless you're already big. Yes, I'm trying to say, and he's 100% right on that. I feel like we do. That's the only way we're going to able to get our respect, is when we control our dollars. We control our dollars in the black community. We're some of the biggest mass, what's the word I'm looking for right now? Not producers. We buy a lot. Yes, we don't produce enough. That's what I'm trying to say. So once we change our dollars to producing, then other than buying other people's products, that's just power. That's power of the money. And that's power where the money goes to. You know, so we have to support one another. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the economic factor that is that the more that we buy from another, we can change and make direct changes in our community. Because we keep supporting other ethnic backgrounds, and we're getting the least out of it. What's going to happen to us? We all our money goes out of the community, and it was a big study a long time ago that a Jewish dollar stays in the community for up to like 10 to 15 years before it leaves. Once a black community or black person gets a check, by the end of the week, that money's gone. You know, so we have to really sit down and study our economics. And he's right on that. You know, he's not saying that from a race standpoint. He's just saying you got to support your brothers and sisters like anybody else. You know, so, you know, I have to agree more on that. But a lot of people are going to try to scrutinize certain things you say. But on that point right there, what AJ's saying, I would have to agree on.
Jarrell, moving on.
So, Robbie, you there, bro? Are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, brother, what's up? How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well, Boxing Block. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine, bro. Like,
Good.
Jarrell Miller reacted positive, you know. He reacted positively to Joshua BLM speech, saying that, listen, all he said was right. The man is, we all know Jarrell Miller don't like Joshua, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I like watched it, and I was like, I mean, when I saw the video, I was like, for the first time, I was a little bit like, okay, a little bit skeptical of what he was going to say, because the US paid Jeremy to bash under the joke show, you know. But
He
surprisingly,
probably did.
it kind of said the opposite, you know what I mean? So that actually surprised me. What was your take on, I mean, Jeremy Miller's statement? You think he's right for...
Well, Jarrell Miller is just saying what he believed, and he believed Anthony Joshua was right to say what he said. And I think Jarrell Miller himself is also in agreement with what Anthony Joshua said. I think if they had asked Jarrell Miller anything to do with Anthony Joshua as a boxer, he would probably be very derogatory and not have anything good to say. But on this particular issue, I think he is in agreement. It sounds to me like he's in agreement with what Anthony Joshua had to say about, you know, black consumers helping fellow black businesses. I mean, you know, he's giving statistics on how black consumers spend their money in America. You know, they don't tend to buy as much from their own race of people. They go everywhere else to buy, and you know, I think he's making the point that, you know, we could spend more of our money among black businesses, which would encourage growth within those businesses. Yes.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a very fair question. Like you live in the UK, okay? You do know that UK is a multicultural nation, okay?
Yeah.
And over there you have the Indian community where Indians are, you know what I mean? Indians live there.
Yeah.
The Pakistani community, you know what I mean? Maybe you have the black community. I don't know much about that. You probably definitely have the white community, you know what I mean? So
You do.
when you look at, I don't know about how it works there, but in Germany, like there's really no Pakistani or India community yet, but there are Turkish communities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in the Turkish community, they all patronize each other. The ones I know, they patronize each other. They hardly even take their money, you know, out of the community, other than when they are, of course, they patronize. For example, like the supermarket, you know, like Hardy, you know what I mean, like Leader, you know, Edeka, you know, others.
Yeah.
The thing is that
I think over, you see, in the UK,
So,
you have
I want to finish first. Nobody complained. Like when these guys, they all put their money in their community. Like, how do you expect a community to grow if you don't put your money? If the money only goes out and no money comes in, like you work your ass off, you have a job, work your ass off, and just spend it all. You know what I mean? And it's not circulating in our community.
Well, that's right. The community won't grow, and the businesses won't grow. And I think this is the point Anthony was making, that, you know, you have to support black businesses. Otherwise, indirectly, he's saying, look, the businesses are not going to grow. They're not going to flourish and get, they're not going to increase unless you do support them. And it goes back to what Jarrell Miller also was saying, that, you know, in terms of how black people in America spend money, and also in England too, you know, he feels they could be putting more into these black businesses, which would encourage growth. And, you know, that is a fair point. I think it's a fair point what he's saying. I don't think that people should be offended by that, really.
Yeah, I want to ask a question though. Like, how many of the quote unquote, you know, white British go to African shops, like to buy stuff to eat? Is really maybe small, apart from the one that are like, or Caribbean shops.
Well, I see them. They do go in there, but the thing is, I do see them in there, and they do spend their money in there.
But those ones are already the ones like the in an interracial relationship, right? Interracial relationship or something like that. Like they are internationally, culture.
Where you find black businesses, where you do find other races going in there to buy. But I think the point being, in order for those businesses to grow more and you have to get more of them, more money needs to be put into them. And the only way that can be is if people spend more money in there. Now, the rate that black folks spend their money, what the point is, I think what Anthony is saying, look, which is true, you could spend more within those black businesses, which encourages growth. You see.
So do you see anything like okay, continue, bro.
Because, and you see what the thing is, the thing is about growth. When you see a business growing and you see more and more black businesses, and as you may be a small child growing up and you see black businesses everywhere, it encourages you to feel that you too can be an entrepreneur and you can start up your own business. But maybe if you don't see that many, you feel that your road to success is just maybe going to working a job and coming home, but you don't see that entrepreneurship that you would see if there were more businesses being run by Caribbean people or people from Caribbean descent, African American people in America. And the only way that can be is if more money is infused into those businesses, I feel.
Oh man, I mean, so I had to go, listen to the statement of Joshua. I had to go back and forth again to see where he mentioned anything that has to do with white people. Like he didn't mention any color. So why do you think people took offense be like? There was no color there. They didn't mention any color.
No. And look, Anthony Joshua, there's no way this guy has any kind of hang up, I don't believe, or any kind of problem with white English people. There's no way. If you can just see by his demeanor that the guy would be cool with absolutely anyone. You could tell he doesn't have this problem. But you see, people will use the opportunity to take what he's saying, and they want to make something of it and say, oh well, look, listen to what he's saying. He's now saying you shouldn't buy from anyone except black people. Anthony Joshua didn't say that. He's just
okay. Why are they twisting his words? This is what I don't understand. Why are they twisting his words? This is
community, etc. And how else are things going to flourish? You see, how else are people going to see that these businesses can be made and they can grow, unless people do spend more money in there? It's a fair point, but people not necessarily they may not necessarily like Anthony Joshua. They may be slightly envious of him. They don't like his success. They don't like that he has this huge platform, and they may just not like the fact that he's the number one sportsman and the number one heavyweight. They don't like these things, and it's a good opportunity for them to say negative things about him, take things that he has said, and make it into something negative when they know deep down that that's not what he meant or what he actually did say. People can be very envious. They can be very jealous. You see, or they just don't like you. And this is a good opportunity for them to say, look, people that have seen Anthony Joshua for many years on the screen, they know there's no way this guy has any kind of racial hang up about him. There's no way, not